Welcome everyone to Sporty Talks, Global Game, Global Impact. I am Burcu Hakyemez, your host. What excites me the most about sport is personal. I also had a scholarship from a US university and I studied 4 years in New York, Long Island. So I understand the challenges athletes face. Today I am hosting this event to share and learn from real experiences from the athletes, coaches, and also representatives from Stanford University joining us to share their insights. Sporty currently has 57 college teams on the platform, giving athletes a unique way to unlock scholarship opportunities. Beyond recruitment, Sporty also helps students athletes transition to professional teams globally after graduation. Today, we'll cover everything NCAA and NIL, from recruitment challenges to new opportunities, and explore how sport fills the gap so athletes can find the right scholarships and also sponsorships while building their careers. And today we'll start with Soner. I know him from my childhood. We played together in Turkey, and now he's in New York, and he
We
developed
just
this.
switch. Just switch. You
We
were
switched.
here.
I
I
was
was
in
in
New York,
Turkey.
and then I came
Yeah.
to Istanbul. Then you went to New York, and I stuck in Istanbul now. So hopefully,
Yeah. I
I'll come
also stuck
to
here
visit you.
too. I hope we can switch one more time.
Uh, yeah, to for a holiday, yeah. But
Yeah. For all day.
I
You
have a
don't like
husband
here
and a
anymore?
child, so I can't
Oh,
come to New York that long.
okay.
So I'm going to ask you about the story behind the platform and also the vision for connecting athletes, coaches, and teams worldwide.
Actually, we started with a simple idea because now the recruitment is very expensive and time consuming, and I have seen many talented athletes have difficulties to finding the right teams, especially when they're looking for a college scholarship. They are facing with the high fees, and they don't know where to connect and how to get here. So we just create a platform which every athlete, all the athletes and the teams can connect without any middleman. So team can also post the open positions. So athlete can apply just with a few clicks. So they should also have profiles which is showing their highlights, their stats. I think what makes us different than other platforms, because we are giving really real stats, so team can really understand about the player and offering them a scholarship or not. And also, team can watch the athletes during the seasons and see their progress. And right now, we are also developing AI insights features, which gonna give the teams deep insights about a player while they're watching their video or games. So that's the what we are building here, because we have seen a lot of problems in recruitment, especially it's so expensive for both party schools and the athletes, and we just want to make them connect like the LinkedIn, how they're connecting, and people are going there and looking for a job opportunity. So we think the sport community needs something like that, not just recruitment part, because we also going to cover after the graduation for the athletes to uh, get them in professional clubs too. And we are already speaking with some professional clubs, but our main focus this year to get all the schools on the platform, and the next years we're gonna start about professional teams. So it's not just a recruitment platform. It's we are planning to cover everything about an athlete and the team's needs.
So, with NIL changing the landscape of college sports, these opportunities are more important than ever, I think. It changed a lot. In our time, it was really different than now. So, it's really important to have sporty kind of platforms to learn about more what we are going to do and also what young athletes should do to come to USA to study and also to play. So now let's hear from the athletes. their experiences. And we'll start with Bianca today because she has a game tonight, very important game against Nebraska, and they're undefeated. But I think tonight Bianca will play great because she started the season playing really great. And as a Turkish volleyball player, once again, US will see the difference on the court. So Bianca, can you tell me about the experience that you have, and also like how did you go to US, and now how you are dealing with the team and also with the school at the same time?
Um, I actually wanted to come to the US for a long time because I went to an international school in Turkey. And when I found out that I was able to do it on a scholarship and to be able to study and play at the same time, it was kind of my goal from the beginning. And then after I graduated, I decided to take a gap year because I wasn't sure that I found the correct school to go to. And I took a season off. I took a season in France, basically. And then when I talked to Michigan State at the end of last season, I was really influenced by the staff, and I was sure that I could put the 4 years of my future into their hands. And I just really loved it, honestly. I came on a visit and the opportunity sounded great. The gyms, the physiotherapy, which is super important as a player, how they take care of you, the staff, the practices, the facilities, everything was just, it kind of felt right to me when I came here on a visit. Um, and yeah, and then I actually came pretty late because I was playing the under 21 Turkish national team world championship. So I missed a lot of the preseason. And the day that I came, the next day we had a game. And it kind of like, I was still jet lagged. I was still tired. I still didn't even know everyone's names on my team, honestly. But yeah, and then we started off the season doing really, really well because Michigan State University's focused on improving their program as of right now. They had a staff change and they've incorporated a lot of different players. And it's also really cool because we have 7 international players. So I'm not the only one. And when I came here, everyone was helping me because they went through the same thing 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So it really felt like a family. Um, but yeah, adjusting to everything, it is really different because I'm not used to waking up and going to classes and then going to meetings and then playing volleyball and then coming back home and doing homework. So it's actually really different from the life that we have back in Europe because we don't have that opportunity. It's either sport or nothing, basically.
Yeah, sure.
And it was really hard to get used to. I was falling asleep really early the first few weeks because I was so tired from my daily routine. But after I kind of got used to that, I realized that like I feel great about myself because I don't only feel like I'm improving as a player, which I could have done back home. I knew that I was improving because I'm a young player, but here I felt like I was learning and I was improving as a person. Also, being so far away from my family, I kind of had to do everything on my own, which is, I think, a similar experience that everyone has as an international in the US. And yeah, our team is doing great. We already passed our win streak from last year, this year in conference, and we were completely undefeated in non-conference games. So yeah, it's really great. I'm really, really happy that I made this decision. And it's kind of like you have to take the leap because it's really difficult. But when you do, you realize that, I mean, it's better for me because I get to study, I get to have a degree, and I get to do the sport that I love every day. And yeah, it's just great. It's been great.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to do the things that you love and also to study and meet new people. I have a question for the physical part. Do you have the ice pools still?
Yes, we do.
I miss them a lot.
It's amazing. I actually, the first day that I came here after practice, they told me to go to the ice pool because I was so tired from like travel and practice, and then we had a game. I could only stand in there for 2 minutes. I got out. I said I can't do it. It's too cold. But it's been like a very important part of like rehab for
Yeah,
me for the rest
yeah,
of the days
I
because
love
it's
it.
great.
Do it
Yeah.
for me after the game, please. And good
Okay,
luck
I will.
today against
Thank you.
Nebraska.
Thank you.
And now I turn to Ali Kaan. You have the similar experiences, I guess, but like you changed the school as you mentioned a few minutes ago. So, what advices do you have for new international athletes that would like to come to US?
First of all, they need to be grateful because in Turkey and in Europe, one of like the biggest things for me was you can't like have a great degree in basketball or sports, any sports together. And here, when I first got here, like the gym was only a 5 minute walk away from my dorm. I can go to class with a 7 minute walk instead of spending hours in the traffic in Istanbul, which was a huge deal for me. And yeah, and I don't think how like people in Europe and Turkey realize there are billions of people in the US and millions of basketball, volleyball, every kind of sports players in here. There's a huge pool of players, and in Turkey, your coaches, your parents, you're like close to them. My school, I was the only international student on my team, only Turkish student in the whole school. So I was by myself, and people don't realize like there is no one to support you. Yeah, they're mentally supporting you, but you need to get up for yourself and go to the gym, go to class every day. And yeah, the biggest thing with me, like the difference between US and Turkey was people actually work hard by themselves. They are very independent. No one is helping them. They are ready to like start life.
It's really hard to be just one in a college and just one international player in a team. I think I wasn't like that, so I was like I had my bestie with me, so I was so lucky, as Soner knows. And I turned to Oğuzhan. You are a volleyball player, man volleyball player, and I think you are the one Turkish one playing in NCAA. Am I right?
Yeah, it's just like that so far. There are other players on
Congratulations, first
other
of all.
leagues. Thank you, thank you.
So, how does Sporty help international athletes beyond recruitment and also the next step toward a professional career? Let's.
I think that's the thing we have been talking about. I wish like we had something like that Sporty before. So that's my one of my crazy story. My first state I was in United States was North Dakota, and I had no idea. I wish I had some like platform like that I can use and I can directly connect with the coaches and the other stuff. So I could all know where is that. I never regret. It was great experience so far. But yeah, it's like it was
So, how is the games now? How is the
touch
games?
Bianca and Ali, but they said I think we all have the same issue in Europe and Turkey. It's like uh, I played in Turkey too for a long time, and it's kind of impossible to get your degree and do your sport at the same high level. If you want to get your degree, you need to kind of leave sport, or if you want to keep going to sport, you need to leave your school. So it's pretty tough to do both of them at the same time.
Yeah, it's not possible in Turkey. Still not possible. Hopefully, in
Still,
the future, we'll figure it out. Hopefully. And now I'll turn to coaches. Matt Elkins with us, Alex Yano, and Dan Friend. NIL has changed college sports. Sporty is right at the center. So I will turn to Matt first of all. How does Sporty differ from other platforms, and how is it helping athletes and teams?
Yeah, first of all, just great to be on here with everybody. Thanks for all the athletes for joining us and the coaches. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's a really unique platform, and we're in a really unique time in our college sports landscape right now. As the students can talk to, there's a lot of opportunities out there to earn money for your name, your image, and your likeness across all different levels of sport. Whether it's for our athletes that are men's basketball, women's volleyball, there's just a lot of opportunity out there, and I think people are really capitalizing on it. And like some of the athletes were saying, just being able to connect with what opportunities are available, not only for scholarships, but for example, at a school like Columbia University, we don't offer athletic scholarships. We offer financial aid for students, and so for financial aid, some students might be able to get to go to school for free, which is essentially the same as taking a scholarship, and then NIL opportunities on top of that. But for us, being in a place like New York City, it's a lot different than being in North Dakota, right? And if you've never been to the United States, you might not necessarily know the difference. But a lot of people are familiar with some of the bigger cities, but in the United States, especially in Division I, there's over 350 universities, and not all of them are in big cities like New York City or where Coach Yano is near San Francisco. And so just having an idea of where those universities are located, what opportunities are available for student athletes across the board from all different countries. It's a really awesome time, I think, to be in college sports, and it's become such a global thing that people from all over the world want to be a part of.
Yeah, I think we born early. Definitely. It's the time for the athletes. It's the time. And now I turn to Alex because I'm really I don't know anything about it, but school compensation and the sponsorships and how have NIL rules changed basketball opportunities? Can you explain us, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. First, again, thank you for having me on here. This is a pretty cool thing to be a part of. And, I think this is my 6th year in college basketball. And my first year was really when the conversation about NIL started to happen. And, my first year was, much smaller scale to what it is today. Obviously, it was more probably 5-figure deals. And now you're dealing with millions and millions of dollars with athletes and teams and organizations that are, building programs at the NCAA Division I and Division II levels. So it's changed a lot, no doubt about it. Anything from, roster configuration to recruiting athletes. NIL is a big factor in that now, to roster retention and keeping players on your team. And, obviously, the old dynamic of college sports would be, a freshman goes to school for 1 year and stays through his, 4 years at a university, the same university, and gets his degree. Obviously, the rules have changed a little bit, and I think it's really cool to be at a university like Stanford, where we still have the balance between a student-athlete experience. We value a really high-level education here, while also wanting to compete at the highest levels in the NIL world, and obviously on the basketball court as well. So it definitely changes a lot, and I think the one weird thing about NIL right now is it still is changing. Even every single year that I've been in college basketball, the rules have shifted a little bit. More money has flooded into college sports, and it's something that's really hard to get a full grasp on. And even as a coach, I'm still trying to figure out what's all going on here. So I think again there is a lot of opportunity. There is a lot of money. For a player that can now very much benefit on the success that they're having on court or the brand that they're building off court. It is a really special time, like you said, to be an athlete, especially at the NCAA level. And I think, it is really cool to see so many athletes being rewarded for, a lot of years of hard work and, bringing a lot of success to programs and to different sports across the country. So, again, it is changing a lot. There is a lot going on, but again, I think it's all for the good. It's all for the better of the athlete's experience, as they go to college.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. And I think it's really gonna take long time for me to understand what changed in US. So I turn to Dan, men's volleyball. Hi, Dan. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
How does NIL shape opportunities and growth in men's volleyball?
Well, I think, I think this day and age is so much different just in the past 2 or 3 years than for sure when you played and when I started coaching 30 years ago. And so I think this platform will be great. It'll be a great educational tool and a great way to connect. I think NIL is totally different at some different levels too. You got the D1 level and the power 4s or 5s that you do deal in multi-million dollars or 6 figures or 5 figures, and the sports even at those schools are such a range. Are you basketball and football? Women's volleyball can be up there some regards, but then you have some of the other Olympic sports like men's volleyball where that money range may not be as much. And I think kids understanding and educating themselves in terms of the different levels. We talk about OG, and certainly he plays for me, but OG went from NAIA to Hawaii to Lewis in Chicago. And so he's felt all these different ranges in terms of institutions and how they function. And so I think it's always changing and educating. One of the other things is you may have 5 years of eligibility in NCAA Division II, and that's getting voted on in January. So that changes another level. And does that do you want to adopt that? And so I think the rules are constantly changing, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. So I think more information that can be provided and you can connect the dots, especially with our international players. I think We have 3 right now. We've got, Belgium, as well as Bulgaria, and we have a Puerto Rican guy. And I think, getting that information to them and allowing them to understand the process and how it works becomes really important. But I think this is great.
So, like, now we are going to talk about the global talent pipeline, like athletes from Turkey, Europe, and beyond, from everywhere around the world. So, in this part, I'm gonna ask you about the Sporty, connecting them to NCAA opportunities, and we'll start with Dan. We finished with Dan, and now we are gonna start with Dan in this part. So, what are the criteria for recruiting international players now?
In terms of criteria, I think it's the ones that are organized and have already started to educate themselves on the process are the ones that interest me even more. They understand what the NCAA eligibility center is. They understand kind of, hey, I got to do a Duolingo or a TOEFL, or like they just understand and have started to educate themselves on kind of what it takes and what that process looks, because that already tells me that they've put some time and effort into it. And it's like, hey, I really want to go do this, and I kind of understand it a little bit. And I understand that my grades are important, that I have to get kind of my transcripts in order, that I have to start diving into that process. And that's a big thing. You're always recruiting the other talent things, but the international pool, that's what separates. Because I don't know, I get 25 to 30 a week. Do you know what I mean? And they're
Wow.
coming in, and it's like, hey, and honestly, so like in the landscape of men's volleyball, there used to be a lot of international players in the late 90s and early 2000s. And then all of a sudden it dipped off. The rules got a little stringent in the NCAA. They made it a little bit more difficult. And then what we've seen the last 7 or 8 years is those rules have lessened a little bit. And so I think you've seen an influx of international players playing, especially in men's volleyball. And so I've seen more and more the past few years. And so how do I separate and make a differential between those athletes that are contacting us or sending us emails, and that educational piece and understanding that some of that. And I think those that are involved with things like this and understanding and being educated and really help the process.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. And I'll turn to Matt. How the international players affect the team, like also in diversity and also chemistry. Like the Turkish people, we are really hard and we are really friendly, and we have on the team always win, like Oguzhan, like Bianca, like Ali. So how this affect?
Yeah, I mean, I think for all of us coaches, leaders in this space, we are hoping to help provide an experience for our players, our student athletes, right? And that's an athletic experience, it's an educational experience, and part of that is being able to interact with people that come from different backgrounds. And so I think being able to have a team that's diverse, both ethnically, racially, geographically, is very important, because what it shows, especially in a sport like basketball, is that there is people from all across the world that love this game and want to play together. And regardless of if you speak a different language or eat different food or watch different TV shows, when you get on the basketball court, everybody has the same goals. And so I think that sports in general is a very unique opportunity for people to interact with people that are different than them. And what we end up realizing, and what I've experienced in my time coaching at a variety of different places, is we have a lot more in common than we think we do. And so being able to access players in different parts of the world, again, as a coach, it gives me experience coaching and working with people from different parts of the world. But also, I think it's great for our student athletes to have that experience, to be able to now say, okay, when I graduate, maybe I want to go play professionally overseas, and maybe I get an opportunity to go play in Turkey. And one of my teammates was from Turkey. And so now, I got some recommendations of places to go and people to see and things like that. So I think in general, what I've experienced, especially in my time being kind of in the high academic world, in the Ivy League and places like that, is people from all across the world, they value similar things. They value education, they value competing at a high level, and they value the community that you can build in places like this. And so with Sporty and with just the exposure to sports globally around the world, we want to be able to provide that opportunity for those people to come from all different walks of life, come together through a common goal of being sports and also being successful.
Yeah, sports always brings people together because we love sports and we are getting together on the court. So Soner, how does Sporty make global recruitment easier? Like how Sporty works?
How Sporty works, because first of all, it's very easy to access all the American colleges, and right now we are developing the mobile app, which we are planning to make really just a video share very easy on the mobile app. So the coaches can really notify talented athletes, first of all, with the visual perspective. But then when they click their profile, they can see how their starts and how they're progressing. And also it's not expensive, because actually, like, when I start about this project, I heard too many feedback about how expensive. So not everyone has the same opportunity paying the third party to connect with them, the schools. So Sporty is really straightforward and not expensive, so everybody can afford it. And maybe that's why most of the teams are mismatching not the right athletes right now, because imagine, like, who doesn't have money, they cannot have an opportunity to connect with the colleges. So what is the Sporty vision is actually like giving everyone the same opportunity. So it's going to also level up to the college sports, but what I'm seeing in the future, it's going to also level up the professional level as well too. So if we can success in the college sport, and if we're going to be successful about the student athletes to transition to pro level, I think we're going to really change to the system about recruitment, because it's right now too much problems occur. Because sometimes, like, the athletes really like to sign the teams, but about the third party problem, they cannot sign and they cannot go and play the team that they are dreaming of. So Sporty going to remove this problem. So we are trying to put everything in one platform to cover all the athletes' needs and the team needs in the one platform. Even we're gonna give them the connect in the social media, so they can really socialize with the athletes. Imagine, like, Bianca and Oguz and Ali can visit their city and they can connect, and if they need anything, they can also communicate. So Sport also giving the athletes that opportunity and really taking care of their future, and actually they have to control on their own career. So I think we're gonna give a lot to the community, and it's not just a platform. I'm just trying to build a community, actually, like to everyone can connect, and they don't feel lonely in their journey, because as you know that I also have the experience, and many athletes also have experience, they're gonna have experienced the up and downs. So in the future, actually, like, it's really far future, but I am planning also to add, like, if they want to go to corporate work, I'm gonna also try to push in the platform that kind of job that they can really find through the Sporty based on their field. So if they don't want to be a professional career after the graduation, they can also go and see what is the really good fit for their profession. So I think we are offering a lot, and we are not really asking any high fees. And right now, especially since we just make a soft launch and it's also free, that's why we trust the platform, because the sport is more than a good idea right now, which like 57 teams already on the platform. So whatever me and my team, actually like 15 people, is really on the Sporty, on the backstage, which you don't see, but really working to solve this problem and giving every athlete the same opportunity, and also the covering all their problems in one platform.
I think it's perfect. I wish I was.
We will see. I mean, that's what our planning. But also, we need the help from athletes and coaches. Like, we cannot build this community by ourselves. So that's why we are right now making the live stream, and like, we need also support, because, for example, who is onboarding the team? I got so excited, but it's so funny because I'm talking with my regular friend, not from the Sporty. They just give me a weird look, like what is that important? Because like some people are not really familiar with how the college sport is important in USA. When I was in Turkey, I was also pro level, and actually maybe I was thinking maybe that was feeding my idea, because I also get an opportunity for scholarship, but I have to make a turn to professional life because I was broke, right? So I have to make, actually, like, I want to get a good education, but at this time I have to make a decision to make money or have a good education. Then I make this turn, of course, choose the money, but I am lack of education right now, as you understand from the accent. So and after you stop you stop playing volleyball, you're really gonna feel the emptiness, so you don't know your direction. So that's why also it's important that people can have the education, and they can also grow their sport career at the same time, because you never know, next year, forbid God, but you can get injured. So what you gonna do? Like most athletes have that kind of problems in their career, even if they are so talented, and if you're unlucky, so
Yes.
you don't have any opportunity. But in USA, system is very strong. So because not every other countries, as the guys already mentioned, I don't want to repeat it, but so that's why we are, since the NIL change, and the sport athletes can also get paid, so they don't really make a sacrifice from their professional career. In the same time, they can get really good education and make their fundamentals strong, and they can also, after the graduation, they can always go back to the professional life. So we're gonna fill this gap, because most of the platforms here for the recruitment, that's why I don't really like to call the Sporty as a recruitment platform, but we are also connecting them back to the professional clubs. So I think we are offering a lot, and I hope I can make this happen, but I also need all the support from everyone. And it was very valuable for me to having everyone here, because it's really gives me too much inspiration.
So now we came to the closing. Soner, you talk too much. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
you explained really good, Sporty.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
now I turn to Alex, Matt, and Dan once more, and then I'll turn to the athletes, and then we are going to close the live stream. Let's talk about the future a little bit, like future of Sporty and also A&N. And now I turn to Alex.
Yeah, like I said, I think the future of NIL and the Sporty sounds an amazing feature for especially international athletes. I've been fortunate enough to work with, in my 6 years, players from all over the place, from Turkey to Serbia, Nigeria, Senegal. So again, kind of like what Coach Elkin was talking about, it is really interesting to learn their stories and learn how much the experience is different from just a kid who's grown up in the United States the entire time, who might have a better understanding at kind of what's going on. But the future, again, I think is very kind of unpredictable for right now. I think, as everybody's kind of touched on, things are very much changing in the college athlete landscape. And, I think, again, with NIL, it's definitely benefiting the right people at the time, and athletes are starting to make a lot of money off of it. But obviously, does some sort of salary cap or regulation kind of start falling on, the bigger sports in football and basketball or women's basketball, some of these sports that are making 6-figure deals for their athletes, does that somehow stop, or is it somewhat limited in a sense? I think it'll be really interesting to see it, kind of how that develops as time goes on. So I wish I had more insight to, have the crystal ball to predict the future, but it's a really hard landscape to kind of predict. There's a lot of changing parts to it all. So I guess, some of it we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you, Alex. And Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I think to wrap it up from my perspective, it's interesting to hear from our athletes that are on the call and from other people that we recruit that around the world, there's not the same opportunity to get a world-class education and play at a high level as an athlete. And so I think the goal as more exposure comes to different countries, to different athletes, the goal is like Ali Kaan was saying, we don't want our players to come here and be the only player from their country or for their sport, that we want them to build that community like Soner was talking about, where they can come in and have friends, have colleagues, have peers, that they can feel like they're coming to another part of the world, but they still feel like there's a little piece of home there. And so I think the future, as you know, social media continues to grow, as apps like Sporty and other opportunities for players to meet other players and coaches to meet other coaches that have experience recruiting internationally, the goal is to just continue to connect our global community to where there's basketball players coming from all parts of the world to the United States and then being able to go back to their home country or to travel the world. I think for a lot of the athletes, you know, Coach Yano and myself are in Division I men's basketball, but if you're in like Ali Kaan and you're in Division III basketball, there might not be as much opportunity for NIL, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have the opportunity to earn an incredible degree and get to play the sport you love, right? And then I think ultimately beyond that, I think there's no reason why you can't take that sport beyond just those 4 years of college. And so as we continue to grow the sport and provide more opportunities, players will come to the US, hopefully to pursue those opportunities and then take that experience back in the same way that 20, 30 years ago, the Team USA and the Dream Team opened up the eyes of so many young kids about the sport of basketball. And now we're seeing it such a global game. Hopefully we can see that in sports like men's volleyball, in women's volleyball, in baseball and soccer and in all these different sports. And so I'm just really excited for the future, hoping that, you know, Sporty and all the work that we do to connect athletes around the world is going to continue to grow. And hopefully that continues to make sports in general in our college and university system just a bit much stronger, more vibrant and diverse community.
How about Dan?
Well, he said it pretty good. I don't know if I can be as good as him. That was fantastic. I am excited about Sporty. I think the community and connection that it can bring and it can build is beyond what some of the other sites do. And I think that can be a differential piece for Sporty, which is exciting to see, and really connecting the athletes and, you know, connecting them to beyond just, hey, we're going to recruit you to a school and be done with you. So I think that'll be a really, really great piece for you guys. And I just think the landscape continues to change and hard to predict. I think that's where you got to continue to educate yourself. I think one of my advices to any national kid is, you know, connecting with those players that are currently playing and what it's like at those institutions. That's what we currently do now. And they're the greatest ambassadors in terms of like understanding the process. And I think Sporty will help do that. And I think that's key. They'll have athletes that go and they can connect and build those bridges. And that'll be super important.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. And now I turn to the athletes, Bianca, Oguzhan, and Ali. So what do you have as an advice for young athletes dreaming about being in US in the college career? We'll start with the lady first, Bianca.
I think that actually there's this, especially for young women volleyball players back in Turkey, there's a lot of like controversial opinions about the US, because I always knew that I wanted to go to the US, but they were kind of convincing me not to do it because I had a chance in professional sports back home. What I would say is that this league, I'm talking about women's volleyball specifically, is improved like crazy for the past few years. The NCAA Division I, the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, all of these conferences have made incredible improvements. And we can tell because the viewership of women's volleyball in the US has also improved by a lot. It is the most popular women's sport, and it's slowly making its way up the rankings and viewership, I would say. And that's something that you need to keep in mind when you're abroad and you're thinking about coming to the US, because it's kind of hard to understand the level of a league unless you have played in it. And people have like different thoughts about the US, but as someone here and as someone who's played games, and I have so many more great games to play against great ranked teams, I would say that the level here is incredible. And you also get to experience college life, and you get to experience having an education, of course. But I think that people, like young players, choose to go to bigger teams back home, and they usually don't get playing time. You're not usually on the court, you're sitting.
Yes,
And
like me. Then I go to US. You
yeah,
chose
so
the right road.
yeah, and I would say that it's like you can sit in your home country and technically you're a professional player, but you're not getting the full experience that you could, and you could get that anywhere abroad. I played in France for a season, and I think that was a great experience too, because it was a different country and all of that, but I was missing the education part. I didn't know what to do with my free time because I was not in college. So it's like there shouldn't be this thought about the US, oh, it's like it's not pro, it's not this. No, like we have NIL opportunities now. So technically it is sort of going towards how the rest of the world plays these sports at this age. And I think it's very important to try. Like as a young volleyball player, you can choose to come here instead of sitting in a very good team, but not playing and not improving as much as your full potential would allow you to in places where you can have time on the court and education, all the help that you need no matter what, and you get to live in a different country while doing a sport that you love. So I really see that there are more positives than negatives. So my advice is to take that chance. I mean, you could come back, but to take that chance and to figure out your life as you're going, especially at like a young age and like as a young volleyball player like me.
Bianca, go for it and beat Nebraska tonight.
Hopefully.
Oguzhan, I'll turn to you. So what would you like to say?
My advice will be just leave your comfort zone, because when you're in Turkey or when you're in your home country, you know, like everything you used to do so much. So you are in your comfort zone. Just leaving your comfort zone will change your mind, what I believe. And keeping going with Bianca, what she said, like I felt it so much, especially this summer, because in Turkey, like, or in other Europe countries, they don't take that serious as a US league or NCAA or any other league. And they think it's more like amateured or whatever. But it's not like that, actually. There's like, I'm talking about volleyball, it's like high level competition going on here. And we have seen many talented volleyball players on men's side. They have been taking time on the VNL level, World Championship level. So it kind of proves us how the NCAA level is going high here so far. And yeah, that would be my advice. Just leave your comfort zone. And everything is not just volleyball. End of the day, it's just like you are getting life experience. You are learning another language. You are having huge networks in the United States, and you just living your, I don't know, like sport and school at the same time. Just, I would say that.
Dream come true, let's say.
Yeah, the dream come true. Yeah,
Turkey.
yeah. Okay.
Because in here you cannot do that. So in US you can do it, playing the sport and also getting the education.
It depends on expectations. Like if you just want to be a volleyball player and you don't want to improve yourself on the other side, yeah, maybe. But if you want to become a great person, like well general cultured, it's the best place to be.
Thank you, Oguzhan, and good luck.
Thank you.
And now the ball is at Ali. So are you gonna shoot it or pass it?
I'll shoot it this time. So I think one thing that like young athletes need to realize is, yes, US is the like world for opportunities. It's a great place to pursue your dreams, play sports, but it's hard. People need to realize it. I've had so many friends that came to the US, couldn't deal with the culture difference, couldn't deal with like the practices. In Turkey or in Europe, you have your value. The club you grew up in, yes, now you have a name that you built. But when you come here, the first day of practice, you're basically like equal with everybody else. You need to build your reputation. You need to like work hard every single day. And even if you don't want to become a pro player, being a student athlete will prepare you for your life, because you're studying really hard, you're getting your degree, and you're playing sports and trying to maintain a social life as well. Being like you've sacrificed a lot.
No.
You left your like parents and friends and family, everybody at home, and you traveled all the way to the US. And just like be grateful for the opportunity and be ready to like give 120% every day.
I think Burcu has some difficulties. So, okay, I don't know what to do, but let's keep just give some times, and or we just have to finish the live stream. I don't know. What do you think? Is there
Connor,
anything that you want?
let me just ask the athletes real quick one question. Could you
Okay.
guys just give us like a day in the life, like Bianca, it's game day for you. So like what's your schedule like for the rest of the day between classes, getting ready for the game, in case there's any athletes that are just curious how it goes?
So talking about game day, today's Friday and I'm lucky enough not to have class on Friday, but my roommates do, for example. So they would have to get up at 9. They have to go to their class, which is usually about like an hour and a half. And then they come back, and then as if I went to class, and then I come home and I eat. Then we have practice, game day practice at the gym. It's like 1 hour to feel the ball and to get your body moving. After that, we have a scout meeting where we make our plan for the other team and what we're going to do tonight. And then around it's like 3:30 at that point, we have like a 1 hour time to rest and to relax after practice and to get ready to do everything that we need to do to come home, pack our bags for the game. Then we go back to the gym where we have a pregame meal, which is provided to us. After the pregame meal, we have time for treatment and taping, which is usually about like a 1 hour and a half period, where you get to do your last treatments if you're injured, if you are feeling pain. After that, we get dressed and then we go out on the court, where we have our 15-minute serve and pass to again feel the ball a little bit before the game. We come back to the changing room and then we go on the court and we play the game. And the game's usually over at like 9:30 p.m. And we come back home, we relax, and we actually have 2 games a week. So we're lucky enough to have an off day in between. We don't have a game tomorrow, we have practice tomorrow, and then we play Sunday. But some weeks it's different. So next week we have a game on Friday and Saturday, and they're both in different places. So we have to charter, play the game, charter after the game, and then play the next day, which is actually it's pretty difficult to get used to, especially we're more used to playing 1 game a week. And that has been one of the things that has been kind of hard for me. But also along with all of this, you have to keep up with your due dates and your homework and everything. But once you get used to it, you really learn to plan ahead. I finish all my homework on Tuesday so that I wouldn't have to be sitting here doing my homework on game day, basically.
Sorry, I
Who
got
do you play
disconnected,
tonight?
Sana.
Sorry, who do you play tonight?
We play
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Oh, nice.
Coach, just let you
Good
know,
luck.
I'm going to watch her tonight. I will be in Michigan State University tonight.
You see,
Oh,
Sporty
nice.
already connect people.
Yeah.
We connect people.
I'm going to watch Michigan State Nebraska volleyball match.
No, they know each
That's
other
great.
before. So.
Bianca, you should win tonight, please.
Oh, it would be one of the best games of my life, honestly, because they are a really good team. But we're doing really well. We beat number 20 ranked Indiana last week, and we swept them at Breslin. So who knows?
I wish I
This is
could
how
watch the
competitive.
game.
Yeah,
But
this is how
what
competitive
they
the
have
Big
any
Ten is.
international players in Nebraska?
They have one from Italy who I actually played against on the national team.
Mhm.
She's their opposite, but like this is just how competitive the Big Ten is. We're not ranked, and we beat number 20 Indiana last week 3-0 at our house. And it's like every day there's a competition going on between every team. So you can never, ever underestimate or overestimate any teams, because it's just super, super competitive, honestly, which we don't really have in the Turkish league, I would say, except for like the top 5 teams of the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
there
Michigan. Go Michigan.
Is there any limitation for international athletes for D1 or other leagues? No.
No, there's not.
Yeah. But
Our women's basketball team here at Columbia actually has more international students on it than they do domestic United States students from England, Australia, Greece, Spain, all over. So yeah, you could have a full team of international students if you wanted to.
Wow.
But for example, like most of the teams have some limits for giving full scholarship, or it depends of the schools.
Yeah, different levels within divisions, Division 1, 2, and 3. Different sports have different numbers of scholarships that they can provide, or partial scholarships depending on the sport. So again, that's kind of where I think we can tie everything together. Having that information, like Oji was talking about, like just knowing information before you go into this path. Of course, everybody who I'm sure would love to play volleyball at Michigan State, but there's certain things that qualify you as an athlete, academically, scholarship-wise. There's a lot of things that you have to consider, and being able to have those conversations with your peers, with players that are there, but also with the coaches and all those things, being able to connect with them is really important.
But also, like, for example, I have some questions. Sorry, Burcu, I take the position because you already disappeared. You already disappeared. I'm really curious. For example, like Ali and Bianca, I want to ask both of you, when you make a decision, and Ali told us earlier he just switched the school, and you focus more academically or your professional career or your sports career, not professional maybe, but like what is your, what makes your decision to pick up a school? Like Bianca, you can start. Yeah.
So for me, both aspects were important, I would say. But honestly, I focused on the sports part more. Like I knew that I wanted to go to a school in the Big Ten. I knew that for sure it was going to be Division I, and Big Ten was one of my goals. Like it was my main goal to play in the Big Ten because it's one of the most competitive conferences here for women's volleyball. So I chose to focus more on the sports aspect because that's where I see my future going. But that doesn't necessarily stop me from still getting a really high education, because it's like the education here is really, really good too. And I get to try different things out. So I chose to focus on the sports aspect myself because that's where I see my future. But again, that does not stop me from trying out different things and being able to focus on different classes and learning new things, basically. So
for me, it was mainly basketball reasons as well. But while I was like transferring, I didn't like forget about education. I still like try to go to a similar level or even a higher level school while transferring because of basketball reasons. But I've had friends that transferred for basketball reasons, or some just like typically for education reasons and social life reasons as well.
Sonar, do you have any other questions?
No, I think we can really wrap up. We can really wrap up the podcast. What we can say, I don't know if it's really a podcast, but
live stream
because I know, live stream. So I know that they're really tight schedule. So thank you again for everybody, and please don't hesitate if you come to New York or close to contact with me so I can come and visit. And it's really so much. It was really important that you are showing up today here, and I'm really appreciate it. And thank you for your time.
Thanks for listening. And if you come to Istanbul, you can call me, and I'll take you to kebab and also Kapalı Çarşı.
Or maybe you have to create a profile on Sporty so they can reach you out.
Maybe we'll see. So thanks for listening and joining us. See you next time on Sporty Talks. Have a great day for the ones in US, and have a great night for the ones in Europe, let's say. And good luck, Bianca.
Thank you so much.
Ali,
Thanks
also
for having
us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good luck.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.